What is going on, everybody? This is your host, Rob, back with another episode of From My Experience podcast. I'm rolling solo on this one, but I have an interview. I have a very, very special guest. Now, I gave her a little bit of warning before I started recording that I can see her video. Y'all can't see it. I gave her a little bit of a warning, but she's a traveler, she's a blogger, she's a foodie, she's in fashion, she's in a little bit of design. She's such an entrepreneur. And I want to say this about her. You gave me a new regret in my life. And it's very rare that I have regrets. But after reading your blog, I was like, that is somebody I wish I was friends with when we went to school together. That is somebody I wish I would have gotten to know, because who knows where our friendship would be today. Because by reading that blog, I was like, wow, this is an amazing person. So it's never too late to be friends, though. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
have the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented, the one and only Jessica. Are you ain't gonna say nothing to people?
Oh, hello everyone.
Wait.
Hi, how are you? Excited to be here and really excited about this opportunity. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you should be looking forward to it. I take care of everyone that's on the show.
Good deal. Good deal.
So let's start with this. I want to start out with this. Tell people where they can find your blog before we get started talking about it.
Okay, so my blog's name is Expozher, and that's spelled Expozher. So it's a play on the word exposure, but I spelled it kind of expose her, and that's at .me, as in ME. So a little bit different domain, but exposure.me is my blog site.
Okay. On a serious note, men, women, ladies, especially if you're a young lady listening, you need to go to her blog and you need to read it. We've been talking back and forth, and she was like, "Okay, I'm ready," and she's scheduled. And I was working on Sunday, and I sat down and I went to her website, and I read everything, top to bottom, everything. Looked at every single picture, everything. So it really gave a good look into who you are now. And it actually brought me, it brought about some questions that I'm going to have for you, because I'm like, okay, if this is who she is now, and I want to know more about that too, I wonder who she was before. So,
Not much has changed. I mean, some things have changed, but I think I'm pretty much still like the same person in a lot of ways. Still quirky, still like just free spirited, but now I have a little bit more responsibility. So that part I think has been pretty consistent.
okay, so one of the things that I read in your intro to you, basically, you talk about being the woman you choose to be. What does that mean, and what led to that transformation for you?
Um, a lot led to the transformation. My experience at Claflin, just being around um, such a diverse group of people, to moving to Texas at a like critical point where I did a major career change. My faith. There's just been so many different pivotal points, I guess, key points that has kind of ignited and been kind of like a catalyst, I guess, for change
Mm-hmm.
within my life. Traveling has changed me. Those pieces, it's changed my perspective. I wouldn't say it's changed just like who I am as a person, because I've always kind of gravitated towards like I'm a natural explorer, and I kind of put that on my page. That was something where that's where that came from,
Okay.
because I've always wanted to like just seek out information. Like I've never been the kid to just be in one group,
Mm-hmm.
one clique. So I kind of gravitated to a lot of different groups. I was with the nerds, with the jocks, a cheerleader. Like, so I've just always done a lot of different things. And I think traveling probably just showed me like, man, there's a lot of different ways to do a lot of different things, and things the way that I see it is not always the way, or
Hmm.
there's other alternative ways. So um, that's something I think that probably has caused a lot of intentional focus on myself. So
Okay. I can relate to that. I'm kind of the same way. I kind of could hang with any and everybody, even from high school to college. Like I got, I was friends with everybody from the 4.0s to the 1.0. I ain't gonna be here next semester, people.
right.
So I definitely feel you on that. Another thing you talked about that I found interesting, and this is something that I think a lot of people can relate to. You talk about how you kind of struggle with your identity and how people saw you. So, when did you recognize that this was an issue for you, and what was it that bothered you in regards to that?
I think I've always kind of been. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Um,
I read that blog now.
you did read the blog. You did your research, and you did it. I'm impressed. I think that came from being probably a preacher's kid. Like that that has always kind of defined my life,
Hmm.
defined my role. Like it set up a lot of structure in my life. And when I say that, I think it's funny because, in my opinion, I think that a lot of people assume that came from my parents, or that my parents kind of would have confined me because my father was a preacher. But the reality was, I really got it from my community and the assumptions of it was like false perspective. And so what people would put me in a box of being a preacher's kid and limiting me to whatever that idea for them was, I feel like it was kind of just displaced on me. So I think that's where it started.
Hmm.
Did I answer your question
Yeah,
fully?
you answered it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so Expozher. How did you come up with that name, and what are you trying to expose, if anything, you're trying to expose?
I am Exposure is actually like a mission of mine. It's a complex thing, and I don't know if I've completely uh, identified where I'm going with it.
Hmm.
Not as far as um, what I want to do with it, but like my vision for it. Like ultimately, the name came about of just so much. Perspective is everything. Perspective is how, like, the reason why some people um, are in certain situations where they feel like they can't get out, and then other people are in situations where they don't mind. I mean, they jump out every day. They
Right.
jump a physical plane, or they relocate to a different country. They, you know, I don't know. There's so many different ways that you can just jump and just do things, and it's the difference between living in a box and living outside the box. And so for me, um, I wanted to expose myself. Like I wanted this to be a genuine work, a work that was vulnerable, a work that was allows me to put like my truest thoughts, like things that I don't know if people know how I feel about them.
Hmm.
That could be assumed, and then the like dual side of that, or twofold side, is like for other people. Like I am from the country, so like I have a hashtag is hashtag country and culture, and that's like a real thing. Like I think that that's a real identity, and that's usually where I stay. I kind of swing in between both of those. Um, and I think growing up in the country, you lack so much exposure, and
Yes.
you don't know it until you get out and you're like the blinkers come off and you're exposed, whether that be through travel, whether that be through going to a college, and all of a sudden like all the people look like you or they don't look like you,
Hmm.
whatever that exposure looks like for you, it is just like taking off blinders. And i wanted I wanted my blog to be a place of inspiration, a place where people that look like me, or grew up like me, or like want the things that I want. Like I wanted them to see like the full story and not just the now. I don't like. I would say it's based on travel.
Okay.
Sometimes like I like fashion, but I'm not like a fashion blogger.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not my thing. So it's not about like just outward. Um, it's like seeing the whole package, like from beginning to end. Like
Right.
and so that part is really how I came up with the name, what it means. So it's personal, and then it's like my mission and my calling. I feel like in this season. So
Okay. I understand and I feel you on that. Also, I grew up in the country and the city. First half of my life I was in the upstate Spartanburg, South Carolina. Then middle school I moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So big culture shock, huge lifestyle change. Um, I appreciate it though because it exposed me to a lot of different cultures, and that was my real first exposure to travel, to like travel and meeting different people and seeing a completely different way of life. And the funny thing is, I actually found that I prefer the up north way of life. Like people like to comment on them and say they're rude and this, that, and the third, but like they're personable to an extent, but not as personable as they are in the South. Like me, I love people, but I don't like people. I'm very introverted. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So up north, I don't have to worry about people on my face. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah, and trying to like force this conversation is like go over there and do your work. Like leave me alone. Like I don't have to say it. It's a known thing. So, but you're right. The exposure thing. I think that name and your concept behind it is great because that's what a lot of people lack. And there's no age limit to that. You can be 40, 50 years old and never been exposed to anything. Like I've taught kids who've never left the city that they live in. 15, 16, I've worked with kids who've never left the city, don't know what a beach looks like, don't even know
Yep.
what Columbia, South Carolina looks like. Like it's scary.
Right.
So
Right.
exposure is definitely important. Now
Yes.
let's get into your
Uh-oh.
your blog post.
Okay.
So I want to talk about. I think I got the titles right. Yeah, her thoughts. So you said fear kicked your ass.
Yes.
Now, this is important. There's a lot of people who are probably listening right now. Shout out to my listeners. Our last podcast got 93 listens on SoundCloud. Thank y'all. It was quick. That was just last week. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Like,
There's a lot of fear is a big thing. Fear stops a lot of people from doing a lot of things that may be very simple, and once you start it, it's kind of like, oh, that's it. So what was it in regards to blogging? What was it that you were afraid of? Because that's what you talked about a majority in that post. But
um, being vulnerable. I mean, putting your stuff out there, like, and I'm still like, I don't feel like I have fully tapped into that. Like, I feel like I've jumped. I'm like in this pond, but I feel like I'm discovering like different pieces of the pond. Like, as I'm writing, like, understanding my writing style, understanding what it is that I like. Sometimes I start on one topic and then I find myself like writing, and like in the background I have like all these drafts. And it's like choosing what goes out,
mm-hmm.
and I and just being vulnerable, like that's a big thing for me. Like I want to be transparent. I feel like having been in the box, I feel like there was people that knew me from church, and there was people that knew me from school, then there was people that knew me from work, and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you know me because we acted together. You know me from this play. You just know a sliver of me, and it's like I got tired of trying to fit in everybody else's box, and all these boxes are different and they're different shapes and different sizes, and it's like that was a lot for me. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change the narrative, and I'm gonna put my own story out there, and I'm gonna
Nice.
express myself like I'm gonna be the storyteller. So this is my opportunity to do that, and I'm enjoying it so
Mm-hmm.
far. It's a new blog. This is something I've only started like at the beginning of the summer. It's been one of those things, as you, if the from the post, like I talk about how it's years in the making. Like, but finally, it came to a point. Either you're gonna do this, Jessica, like, because I'm really no BS type person
Yeah.
when it comes to business and life, and I usually don't take a lot of excuses from other people, like, or I don't entertain, I would say, a lot of excuses from people. But with that, I had to talk to myself and like almost have one of those conversations with self where you're like, no, like either you're gonna do this or not.
Yep.
Like you have said that you're gonna do this for now 2 years now, and I haven't seen a blog.
Whoo,
So
two
stop
years.
telling people 2 years. Like it was. I mean, when I think about the full time frame
Uh huh.
of beginning to end, um, it was probably longer than that, honestly.
Okay.
Like I came up with the beauty blog at one point. Like it was all these little pieces in my head that I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I want to do that, and like putting it all together. And um, here I mean, now I'm glad I did it. But I'm glad I had that talk. I'm glad I had that revelation. And even I shouldn't say it was just me. Like even some of my friends, they
Mm-hmm.
um would have a conversation. So what are you gonna do? Like
Yeah.
are you? Like, are you going to do this or not? Like, and I think that is important. Having a group of people around you that's committed to your success as much as you are, because there's some days where you have blind spots. There's some days where you're not even aware of yourself because you're actively growing and you're actively changing and like becoming this other person per se. So it takes a good support system, whether that be family or friends, um, to kind of cultivate that in you and want that for you some days too, because you're not going to always see it. So yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to my friends that have stood behind me in the background.
Yes. Shout out to y'all, friends. You just wow, you just really dropped some gems right there. So any of y'all who've been sitting on the idea or sitting on something you were supposed to do 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago, do it. Take the
Yes,
leap.
like literally, I have it as soon as you walk into my apartment. I have a chalkboard and it says "Just do it."
Mm,
Like, and that has resonated with. Like, I wrote it myself. Like, it's nothing fancy. It's like on the chalk, frame piece of chalkboard, but it says that one for a reminder for myself and everybody that walks through that door. Like we all have this little stuff that's just in our heads, like
yep.
that we cap, and we cap it before it can even birth itself, because we say like, oh, well, I don't have time. Well, I don't have enough money. I don't have like what? How am I supposed to do this? And I'm still in school, or I work 2 jobs already. So
Yep.
how can I add that? And you have to literally do it because your mind will tell you 1,000 reasons why not to. And that's what I found in my own journey. Um, I just have to push myself. Like sometimes I had a conversation with someone yesterday about you have to just set yourself up. Like sometimes you put yourself in fearful situations just so that you can perform, just
Yeah.
so that I can meet my fear head on, um, and address it that way. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
No,
do
you know.
it.
I had to do that. I don't know if you can see behind me my DJ equipment. Like I wanted to
Hmm.
DJ and I was talking about it. My issue is I like certainty, but I know everything in life isn't certain. So I will do a shit ton of research on something before I actually jump into it. And I realize, dude, by the time you get your research done, something new done came out and you gotta throw that away. So I just
Right.
ordered it. I was like, I want this, and I ordered it. And I was like, oh shoot, it's here. It's in my house. Like I'm hooking this stuff up.
Right.
I'm spending money on this. I need to use it. So it's like you
Right.
said, like I had to put
Right.
myself in
And
that situation.
that's exactly what it does. So when you bought it, like now you have to use it, but then you start experimenting with it and
Yep.
you playing with it and you're like, you know what, I like, and before you know it, you've already transitioned from the jump to the doing to the process
Yep.
to like, and before you know it, you're just in your apartment, your house, a friend comes by. I'm like, man, I didn't know you do that. I actually have a birthday party,
Yep.
and it like always flows like that. But you can never get to that, and you'll cap yourself if you never buy the equipment, or if you never do it, or if you just keep it just sits in your Amazon, your
Mm-hmm.
checkout. like you have to do it. You owe it to yourself, and that's I mean I live by it now because there's so much of my life that I would never guess. Like I recently took on a doing making candles
Mm-hmm.
and a candle line, and like who would think that I would be making candles? Like
Right.
that just blows my mind. And it came out of wanting. I just wanted to create and wanted to do it, and then one thing led to another, and I just started playing around with it, playing around with the labels,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna do this. Like, and so now I have a candle line. So I don't know. Life is very interesting. You never know where you start out because I had I when I met you like in college, I knew of you.
Mm-hmm.
But like at that time, I never would have predicted this life. Like, like, like we would be right here. Like you never know how it
Yeah.
maneuvers and goes and goes and goes until you in right now. And so I tell everybody stay the course because and stay know your course. Like sometimes we get caught up in other people's lanes, and you
Yes.
have to stay in your lane because if not, you're gonna miss something very um, intricate, or not intricate. That's not the right word. Very specific for your journey for your task.
Right.
Um, and if you're watching, if I'm watching your lane, I'm not going to see it in my own when it presents itself, and I'm not going to be able to attack and address it and totally utilize that moment. So,
Exactly. And here's the other thing about that too. Like I found myself caught up in that a few times in my life. And I kind of believe that life kind of works in circles. Like you're doomed to repeat it until you recognize it and then you have to make a change. When you see that situation come up, when you see those similar circumstances come up, it's like, wait, I kind of been through this. I am that friend that's very supportive. You know, I'll ride or die with you. But I have to remember they're doing this to benefit them because this is what they love. This is their dream. So naturally, I'm not going to have the same passion for it because I might not even like what the hell you're doing. But I love you, so I support you. And I had to realize I can help you and support you, but I can't give you all of me because what about me? You know what I'm saying? So you
right,
sitting over here loving it, enjoying it, living up the life, and I'm just kind of
right,
like hanging in there, but it's like, what is there really for me? So I've kind
right.
of had to learn some of those lessons that you just spoke about. And I'm glad we weren't really that acquainted in college. I was horrible. I was I've grown a lot. Like I thank
That
some of
was
my
for
friends. No, I was I had issues, man. I'm better now though. But
well, amen.
yeah,
What we all were, I think. I think that that's what college is
mm, nah, you were an
figuring
angel.
it out.
I ain't hear no stories about you, none.
Pretty decent. I was booed up.
Yeah, yeah. See, all right.
Right.
So we're talking
Next,
about.
next topic. Changing
Wait, you
switch
want to
gears.
talk about boot up?
No, no, not today. No, not.
What?
There's not much to discuss.
Oh no. We gotta talk about the booze.
Unfortunately. Say that again.
We gotta talk about the booze. We can't talk about the booze.
Okay. Well,
I'll
I
I'll,
don't
I'll,
have
I'll wait.
boo, but
I'll wait. Hold on. I'll wait. I'll wait. Let me.
okay.
All right. So in moving forward through your blog a bit, you talk about transforming your mood, which is I think when I read that I'm like, oh my god, where's she been all my life? I'm such a believer in those things. So, what inspired that post?
Because so often we let people steal our joy. Like I work okay, so I deal with a lot of people on a daily basis. I have a studio in Plano, Texas, and lots of women. And just in general, I see a lot of different people. I have male clients, just people that are constantly just I don't want to say stuck because that's not it. It's not. It's more in a funk.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the days going okay. Like if you ask someone how's their day, then it may be I'm fine, and it's just not, they say I'm fine, and I think that you can turn fine into amazing. You can turn you know whatever that state is into whatever you want it to be, and it doesn't require um, not a lot of effort, but it doesn't require much. It doesn't require like things and stuff. Like it
Mm-hmm.
can be very, very simple. And like you have to truly tap into what it is that your body needs, what your spirit needs, what your soul needs. And I mean, that's like the essence of my brand, Lash and Soul. I feel like there's a lot of shameless plugs on this.
No, we're here for the plugs. Plug it now. Tell them where they can get that.
uh, at Lash and listen to me at Lash and Soul Studio. But I have a lash extension studio in Plano, Texas, and that's where you can also purchase your candles. You can purchase in studio or online. But um, that is the fingerprint of my brand. Like I want to connect with people's souls. Like I want people to feel something, and I think we all deserve to feel something. So transforming your mood is about turning like lemons into lemonade. Like
Right.
that's how you transform your mood. And I think I kind of probably got off a little bit at the beginning of that, but you have to learn as adults, life every day is not going to be peachy keen.
Nope.
So do you stay? Does is that a permission for you to be just in a funk, or do you recognize, I had a bad day today, but the day per se is over. Once I come back into my home is supposed to be a sacred place, a place that uplifts me, a place that I feel safe. And so, why not utilize that space to the fullest? And if it's not those things, then you have all the power to change it into those things. So whether that be wall color
Mm-hmm.
or I have Edison light bulbs. I like them. I think that they're calming for me. So
Right.
like it almost exudes a candle light, but it's electric light. And so like small little pieces like that, I think change your space. So
True. So I want to hit these topics. So
okay,
in this blog post, you talk about music, you talk about smells, sage cleansing, which I have a love hate relationship with. I got a story about
okay,
that.
I gotta hear. I want to know why.
Clear, clearing your head, and then you talk about the light. So you kind of touched on the light. So tell us about some of your music.
Okay, so as I mentioned in the not the podcast, the post.
Mm-hmm.
With music, I love music. Like I I resonated with it. I think it's one of those things that no matter the language, you can feel it. It expresses itself. So for me, like I like a lot of neo soul. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I think automatically people assume that I only probably listen to Jill Scott, but I listen to.
Why do you wait? You
That's
do
one of
look like
those.
you listen to Mad Jill Scott. I'm not.
I am ready for love. Like I just feel like every time, like no matter what, like people probably think I'm somewhere in a seance, like but there's more to me. There's a lot more to me. So like Tom Misch, he's a very soulful
Who?
artist. Tom Misch, I like him. You should look him up.
I know. Terrible
New
DJ
artist that
brain.
I discovered. Her name is Kait, and I think it's spelled Kaiit. But like, there's some artists that I've been like looking up, like because I try to keep it fresh in the studio and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I'm not the best with music. I actually subscribe to Apple Music because one of my line
Hey.
sisters, she also subscribed.
Mm-hmm.
So I use her playlist.
Yeah. Where I love. Shout out to Apple Music. Apple, can I get some
Yes,
sponsorship? Thanks.
yes, me
Where
too. Flash and Studio.
Lash and Soul Studios. Yo, so I agree with you. Like when I wake up in the morning, it's funny. This is how I know I'm getting older and more mature. When I've realized the power of music, I actually listen to sounds of the ocean. When I can't sleep or when I first start my day, I listen to the sounds of the ocean. It's very soothing. And then, I turn on my crunk music. I got a nice playlist for when I'm going to work and I got to get ready to deal with these people. Or if I need to relax, I have a certain playlist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely rolling with you on that.
So it sounds like you already know how to transform your mood.
I do. I
I
do.
see.
Sometimes silence is my favorite, but
This is true. You have to know what you need. Like you have to listen to, like, be really in tune and listen to what your soul needs. And
yeah.
sometimes it's silence. It's nothing. It needs to hear, like, and just reflect. So
Yep.
know what you need.
So, all right, smells. Now, this is a personal favorite of mine. Like, there are, and this is, I guess this is psychological. There are certain smells that will just completely wipe out all stress and frustration for me. Like, there's like, when I, even though it's not my childhood home, when I go home to visit my mom in the upstate, like, the way her house smells, or when she starts cooking, like,
Hmm.
I know I'm going like in left field with the smells, but like,
It's okay.
there's just certain, it's just like, even though I love you, mom, my mom be getting on my nerves, my brother getting on my nerves. Just being in her house, there's just a certain level of comfort and relaxation. I have yet to achieve that in my own yet, but I'm
Right.
working on it. I got my little candle burner over there, you know what I'm saying? I do that, and I got a couple, waxes and stuff like that. Shout out to Scentsy. Um, Shout out to Nakia, my Scentsy consultant. But yeah, so tell us about some of your scents.
Okay. So currently, I think I have my candles burning in my space. Um, which my favorite is Nubian Hippie. It's probably the
Mm.
most controversial of the line because it's made with the cannabis flower
Hey,
scent, um,
y'all be getting high?
fragrance oil. No, does it get you high?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Oh,
sorry. You look sad. It doesn't get you
I was
high.
asking for the audience.
No, no, it doesn't get you high. You can get high with the candle, but it doesn't get you high.
Okay.
That's all I have. Uh, but so I love incense. I brought back some really good incense from Bali when I came back that I like, and they kind of really transformed my mood.
Okay.
Um, but even down to like oils, like when I like select what oil I'm gonna use when I get out of the shower. Like, um, it depends on where I'm trying to go, like in my head. So there's certain oils that I know, like, oh, I need to relax. Like, so I'm
Right.
really in tune with myself, and like to know what it is that I want to smell and experience. Um, what else? Candles, my incense. Oh, there's so much. I do waxes too.
Okay.
Like just a lot of different scents.
Sprays.
Yeah.
You
My
know.
favorite are scents that are like kind of layered,
Okay.
but that are fresh. Like have a fresh like warmth to them. I like fresh scents.
Okay. Word. Sage. So.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it. Now I'm interviewing you. We switched. So tell me, how do you feel about sage?
So Sage has a very interesting history that I don't know. But I do know that it has. I think the odor is I don't want to call it odor. Odor. That has a negative connotation to me.
Hmm.
Um, it has a pleasant smell, in my opinion. It's kind of like a refreshing, naturey. I don't know. I just like it. But
Hmm.
I'm a realtor, and I had someone selling the house, and they used to burn sage all the time, and all that
Hmm.
damn soot was everywhere. And like in my feedback from people showing it, they're like, "Oh, the windows like the ashes or whatever from
So
it everywhere,
wow,
yo."
I don't have that problem.
What?
Maybe I don't have that problem with sage. I don't have ashes around my house. I don't think I
Yo,
do. Let me
listen.
go like glove it.
You might listen. No, hers was
Right.
like it was like caked on like the window seals and stuff. Like you would have thought you were in a tomb. Like, but how often do you burn it though?
Oh, not that. No, no, we don't have that going on over here.
She did it like day. So
Okay, no, I do not sage that much. I sage about weekly. It depends. Some days, like if it's a rough day, one
mhm.
of those days where I need to decompress, then I'm like saging. But on the on average, I'd say about once, maybe twice a week.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe that makes all the difference. But they definitely, and you could smell it. I mean, from the time you open the door to you go upstairs, it filled the whole house, and you could see it. Like
Oh
it had
yeah.
a presence.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Yeah. Everyone said the house smelled nice though. So, but I did
Well,
read
that's
that you
good.
said it like cleans the air and stuff like that.
Yeah, I learned that. So it basically purifies the air, like the bacteria in the air by the smudging. So
Hmm.
thought that was pretty cool.
All right. So, you already talked about lights and your lighting. You want to delve into that a little bit more? You good?
Um, no, I think we're good.
Okay. So you talked about candlelight. You talked
I
about.
mean, I like candle light. I like like I said, the Edison light bulbs. Um, when I have guests over, like I choose my lighting. Like I
Really?
know, yeah, I do. Like my friends, they know. Like
Does it depend? Like, all right. So if your boo's
it
coming
depends on
over,
the
does
time
it
of the
change?
day, like what lights that I want. I don't want all like like right now the lighting in my apartment is slightly off, but it's off because I'm doing this. But
Okay.
like I normally would at this point turn on my lamps by my television. Like there's certain I really like lighting. I like to feel like a certain I don't know.
So you be having a high ass electric bill sometimes.
That part. Currently, I didn't know the patio was lights on. And I see it out of my peripheral, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to deal with that right now. I'm focused, working on
You
focus.
need to go turn it off. Look, because I can't help you pay your bills.
Right, right.
All right, so you said something. This is one of the most important things I think you said in this section, which is clearing your head. And you alluded to a couple of things. So whether it be a walk or lighting one up, whatever it is, what do you
Mhm.
think the importance is of just clearing your head? And do you have any recommendations for someone who may not have yet discovered how to clear their head?
Clearing your head is a lot of different things. I mean, it goes back to knowing what you need, one, because you can't clear something if you haven't identified what needs to be cleared.
Mm.
Um, so like no listening to yourself, like knowing when you need to break away, when do I need to be like step away from my friends for a moment and just accomplish something, whether that's personal time or maybe it is that you need your friends and you've been confined for a week doing work and you need to be have that release. So clearing my head for me, I like to truly decompress. Sometimes I sit in my car for about 30 minutes after I get home and I'm in my parking spot and back then, but I still just sit there and I kind of just let the day like settle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any specific thing to do within that 30-minute time frame. So I may think of kind of map out a plan for the evening if I have a lot of tasks that I need to get done. So that, or sometimes it's just mindless um, Instagram scrolling and getting inspiration from other bloggers. Like um, you just have to identify what you're clearing your head from,
Mm-hmm.
so that you know what that requires. I think sometimes it's decompressing, a bath, like I believer in shower, like in what a shower can do for you. I think
Mm-hmm.
I know I talked about that. Um,
Yes, that's next. We're gonna talk about
okay.
your fruity pebble
So,
bath.
come
I said,
on,
word.
Marcus. Let's see. So yeah, we can segue to the baths, but I like baths and showers.
Okay, we save that. We're gonna talk about that too. That's
Okay.
next. What I was about to say to you. Oh, here's a suggestion I have for people. And this is I haven't done this in a long time, and that's probably why I'm very tense. I'm very wound up right now, and even a couple of people have said to me, "Rob, you don't seem like your normal self," and it's because I'm not. And one of my friends, shout out to Swazi, she was like, "We are not connected with nature, like
Mm.
physically, like
Oh
we."
my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
I wish y'all could see what I just saw.
I know, right?
So
I'm so special. I'm
she
really special.
no, you're
I'm
good. Like when she broke it down, she was like, "Think about it. You're in a car. Your tires are touching. Like we're literally physically disconnected. Like when's the last time you actually touched the earth or leaned against a tree?" And so, like she said, it's so refreshing just to go outside barefoot, let the grass go in between your toes.
ground people. You want
Yes,
to ground yourself. You want to put your feet and connect with the earth. Like that is very spiritual, it's very holistic. And you think that it seems, I mean, from the country is normal. Like I used to run around and walk outside
same.
barefoot. Like,
I,
so,
I still like to
like,
do it.
I see how certain pieces of my life like have manifested out of all of that because like I was I was connected. So I'm glad you kind of stayed there a little bit because I love going back to how do I clear my mind? Sometimes I go outside on my patio. Like I've created my patio to be a space, additional space to my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an extension. When I need a place to like really feel the breeze and smell the air and like just take it all in. Um, it's very comfortable for me. So like that's something that I highly suggest everyone take the time. Like I don't know. There's so many pockets of time that you could do that.
Yeah.
Whether it's on your lunch break, I remember I would go on my lunch break. There was a pond like within the
Mm.
shopping center, and I would go. Even if I brought my lunch to work, I would walk across the street and go to the pond and just sit there and eat my lunch and people watch and watch the ducks and like just really take it all in. And like I think that that was like my mental saving grace at that season in my life because that was right before I was about to open my studio and like I was going through a lot in that time,
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to release it and like to just totally disconnect. So I think nature is amazing, like to your
Yeah.
soul,
Y'all
for your soul.
make time for it too, y'all. Like I live. I mean, I'm in Charleston. I don't care telling people where I'm at. And I got mad beaches and stuff like here, and I can't tell you the last time I went to the beach because I'm so wrapped up and wound up with everything else that I'm doing, and I really need to make time for it. That's one of the benefits and advantages to where I live. So definitely connect with nature. For me, my clear my head, I like to go for a walk, like a real nice walk, around the trees and grass and all that, and just walk, man, and just listen to music and just breathe in fresh air and just let it all out. And I try, like something you said, I try not to bring, and it sounds like you do this. You didn't say it, but this is the vibe I get from you, and I'm the same way. It sounds like you don't bring or allow certain types of energy in your house. Like if you're frustrated or upset,
Mhm.
I try to leave it outside in the car, yell, cuss, open the sunroof, turn up the crunk music, whatever. You stay out there, but you will not disturb my peace in here. This is my
Yeah,
sanctuary, my escape from the world or whatever my problems
yeah,
are. Y'all be out on the other side of the door. I'll see you later. When I'm in here, I can't let you in.
exactly, exactly. Yes, and that's and a lot of times I think that that's where that waiting in the car piece came from. Just because I needed that and I did it for so long. And so like some days I don't have anything heavy
Hmm.
and like I come in the house, but for the most part like I know I need that time to just kind of leave it there because you cannot disturb my peace. And like this is my peace. Like when I lay my head down, like I want to sleep in peace. I want to feel like safe and comfortable and whole. And so that's what this is. Man, outdoors is amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Like, and someone told me this, and it's something that I've been implementing in your walks and in paying attention, absorbing it, but like try to focus on every detail as if you were almost in an escape room or something.
Hmm.
Like, not just seeing the like walking on a trail and seeing the trees. Like the trees is so there, like that's a lot. But
Yeah.
like what type of tree is that? Like, and like
Yeah.
tune to it and like looking like, oh my God, do you see that has like actual yellow little teeny buds on it or like whatever it is, like truly paying attention to
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because we're like living in this masterpiece and we haven't I don't think a lot of times we take the time to really explore it,
We
like, and
don't.
to see it like for its true beauty. So
We'll look at a nature post on Instagram before we go outside and look at it in real life where we can see it, touch it, and
right,
interact with it,
right.
which is crazy. It's crazy. All right, so I'm not gonna keep you too much longer. I got a million questions for you. All right, Grace.
I'm good.
Okay, don't play with me. I keep you.
No, I'm good. I mean, I know what we said, but I didn't understand what I was doing, so I'm good. I'm having fun.
Okay, good, good. Grace in a vulnerable place. So we're gonna talk about your delectable melanin bath that you took, looking like a bowl of fruity pebbles with all them.
Oh
I,
God.
I was scrolling on
Yeah.
Instagram, y'all, and all I saw was these exotic flower petals and some legs, and I said, "Who is this?" And I said, "Oh." So
Oh, oh my God. I
so
was,
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that in particular. That bath looked like it meant a lot to you. Number one, it looked very soothing. And in that blog post, you talk a lot about securing your peace and letting God hear you when you're, kind of like when you're most vulnerable. Because I mean, obviously in the bath, you're naked, you're in water, you're relaxed. It's pretty vulnerable because it's just you in the water, and you have no choice but to start thinking. So
right.
I know I asked you like 8 questions just now, but talk about the important, because you touched on it, and I said I was gonna get to it. So talk to me a bit more about bathing and why it's important, and just talking to God in those vulnerable moments.
Um, because sometimes we're so busy and we have so much going on that we don't hear God's voice because there's a lot going on. Like, you don't even hear, your coworker's voice or whoever it may be, like, talking to you because you're in your own thoughts. And I feel like to be in such a vulnerable environment, all everything's off. Like, and um, the point of it is to relax. Like I think you take a bath to totally relax and to
Right.
cleanse yourself, um, and to let it go. And so I again experienced, like, how can I take this bath to the next level? One, um, and and using it for my good, like, not just to I could have took a shower in that case,
Right.
like, like, so that's why I don't know. Baths are important to me. They're just a space where I can really, like, relax, and, like, even it's funny. The irony is that I think before we started recording,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, well, let me go take a shower, but I actually took a bath. I
Okay.
was like, I'm gonna take a quick bath. So um, it's just it's very soothing for me. I don't know. And in Bali, it was like the capital of bathing and spas
Really?
and massage. It's not the capital. I'm naming it
You,
that, but
unofficial
like,
capitals.
false information. However, it. I mean, there you can get massages, like $10 massages. So
Oh,
I think I got a massage every day. I got either a massage or a pedicure daily,
wow.
um, because it was so cheap. Like, that's the culture there, and they were amazing. I mean, as you can see from the picture, I think it's a pretty elaborate bath.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, like, when you come out of that, like, how do you not feel rejuvenated? Like, how do you not feel empowered? And I think it's a great place to restore yourself. That's that's vulnerable, but it's like, no one else knows. Like, no one else knows what goes on in that time. So why not, like, allow yourself to, like, truly capitalize off of it? Because you can say your truest thoughts. You can just use that time for you, whatever it is that you need. And sometimes I use it. I play music, and I do my playlist, and I just,
Mhm.
like, listen, and I just kind of go into my own space. But then there's other moments where I do need it to be quiet, and I just want to enjoy it, like, and talk, and, like, process. I think because it's not always talking. It's just sometimes it's processing my thoughts, and, like really, like, thinking through. is this what I want to do? Like, is this where I
Yeah.
want to be? Is this like how I want? Is this what I want my brand to be reflective of? Or like everything that I do, like I try to be very intentional about. And you can't be intentional without placing intention on something. And so, like taking a moment to do it. And yeah, that's my time. I like it a lot.
I I really appreciate you for actually posting that and showing that. I don't know. Now I wash y'all, so don't get it twisted. I don't know the last time I took a bath, yo. Like,
Right. Like a lot of people don't take baths. Like a lot of people, like, and that's okay.
yeah.
Because I was one of those people for the longest. And I hope I didn't cut you off.
No, you good.
But in the post, I was one of those people that had,
Yep.
no, I'm not taking a bath. I'm grown.
Yeah. Right.
Grown don't bathe no more. like it,
Yeah.
like that's not a real thing. Like to have a like on my trip there was a shower outside and there's a picture of that in the post and a tub outside. Like why would I not take advantage of this? Like why would I, like why am I here, like to not fully dive in and see what's on the other side? And I don't know, I just reconnected with that. It's just a very quiet place. It's very comforting. I don't I don't know, like, and it can be whatever you need it to be, whether
Mm-hmm.
like you determine that for yourself. So I always soup mine up, but it is what it is.
So y'all go to Bali, take you a fruity pebble bath.
A
Did,
fruit couple bad. We renamed it.
I did. I did. You know, I was gonna ask you something else, but I ain't gonna ask you that. It was about another picture you took by a window. All
Okay, we can go there.
right.
It's a
No.
moment of transparency. Like
Okay.
this is why this
Tell us
is
about this picture, cause I don't want people like, Rob, why you ask her that? So you do it.
so you want me to tell you about the picture so you don't have to ask me that.
Yeah. Listen,
Okay.
I know the people you're associated with. Y'all still scare me. Love
Oh,
y'all.
ah,
Love y'all. Y'all know I love y'all.
you make
But
me sound like I'm affiliated with gangsters.
you're definitely
Oh,
not. You're affiliated with people who are dead ass serious and they don't play when
ah,
it comes to their loved ones. This I know. This I still hold near and dear to my heart.
amen. I received that. um, that picture is a picture that
Tell them what it is. Don't do that.
okay. So I posted a picture with in my underwear, like facing a window. It was on a recent trip to Jamaica, and it was just my my way of expressing like my art, my creativity, like all of
Hmm.
me in a tasteful way, because like
It
that's
was
like, I
tasteful.
think all the things that I do, I feel like they're tasteful. That's always my intent.
It was tasteful.
But
It
to
was.
just it said free jest, and that's what it was. Like it was like, this is, I have one life. In my life I want to use it for good. I want to use it to like inspire people to like embrace who they are, like in every form, whether that be physically embracing who you are, the mental portion of that, like
Hmm.
embracing like what that means to you, and defining yourself and just living in your truth. And that was my ballsy way. Like every my friends know that I wouldn't say a nudist or anything like that, but like my friends,
Maybe
this
you
is like,
are. Nah, go ahead.
no, like I just like being free. Like I'm a free
Okay.
person. Like I like less clothes as possible. I'm like a summertime girl. I like to be bathing suits, like just sundresses. That's me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So I to them it's never shocking, and like that they get that a lot on day-to-day life. But it was one of those things, like I would never, because I would have never posted that picture
Hmm.
5 years ago. And I think that's probably where the learning point of it, and the deeper piece to it is 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you name it, like I wouldn't have posted that picture because I would have thought too much of what everybody else would have had to say about it.
Yep.
And now I can post that picture and I actually feel empowered to do it. And like there's more to come, I guess. But
I know some
but
photographers, but go ahead.
but yeah, like I'm really proud of where I am, what I've done, like my life.
Hmm.
I feel incredibly blessed because there's a lot of days where I don't realize like why I'm doing it or how I got here. And I was in Jamaica, and that was just like an opportunity, like looking out of that window and like looking in and realizing like, man, I've done a lot of crazy cool like things in my lifetime,
Hmm.
and I'm living dreams of before. Like when I was in high school, I would dream to travel and
Yep.
to like to do some of the things that I've done. So like now I'm doing them and it just blows my mind. So that's what that picture was about. It was just about jumping, leaping, embracing. Just do you.
Who took that picture?
Yeah. It was actually part of the gangster squad that you just
No,
referenced.
I did not refer to them as a gangster squad.
Well, no, you did not. No, my line sister took that picture.
Okay. The gangster squad.
I think it
That's
should be
funny.
noted though, like that's a difference. Girls trips, they are like
Yeah.
we're just so comfortable.
Oh,
Like
listen. I
there's
listen.
no
Yeah.
like closed doors and stuff like
Yeah.
that. They're like, who took the picture? Who took the No, it was
I was
just
just trying to see if it was a boo. I was just
no.
being nosy.
There's still no boo. Maybe we should do a shameless plug for that. Hmm.
Okay. Still no boo.
Still no boo. Still
Does a
boo.
boo even matter right now, though? Is that a priority for you? Is that something you even think about?
No, it's not something that it is something that I desire. I think a lot of times, honestly, a lot of people assume that I don't want that. Like, you don't need a man or you don't need, anyone. And I'm at a point in my life where I do want to share my life with somebody. Like, I want a partner, but I got a lot of stuff to do in the meantime until that person finds its course. So, like, I'm I'm happy. I'm learning how to make me happy, like, and not
You
make me
better
happy.
say
I'm
it.
learning, like, what is my happiness? What does that mean?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
for so long, I think so many people talk about a mate making them happy, but that's not gonna do it. Like they can facilitate your happiness, but they're not gonna make you happy. And I know what I like, so I
Yep.
can tell the person
Mm-mm.
when it presents itself like this is what I like, so that I can help you, love me.
Yes.
Like, and I think that's how it's supposed to work. Like, you're not supposed to. I don't assume that people know what I want and
Mm-hmm.
know what I need. I need to tell you sometimes this is what I need, and so
Oh my God, you
I'm
sound so
in order
perfect.
to
Go
do
ahead.
that. I sound what?
You sound so perfect. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my! Say that last part. I'm gonna repeat it for you.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to tell us, ladies. Sometimes you have to tell us.
Yes,
You have to
but
tell us sometimes.
in their defense, that's where life is a journey because I'm learning at 33 years old to use my voice,
Right.
in a way that I've never used it before,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just talking and having a conversation. Like I would have like I'm on a podcast right now and this is blowing my mind. Like I'm humbled by it because wow, who would have thought that someone would want to hear what I have to say? But I have to use my voice, and I'm learning in this realm. But even in relationships, there was times where I didn't know to tell someone what I wanted. I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
because I was scared that they may leave, thinking that I needed that person.
Right.
And sometimes when you're broken, which we all have this level of brokenness, um, from different things, um, not always infidelity, but just imperfections that are our own personal brokenness. And I think until you learn how to use your voice in all platforms, including a relationship, like you really can't communicate, um, or have it be heard and such. Like you need to be able to say it so that people can hear it, and they're not gonna assume it. And like
Yes.
even if they get a few things right, assuming it, you can't assume that they have the rest of it
Yeah.
together. So that's what I'm learning. I'm learning how do I have to I have to find my happy, and I keep saying make myself happy. It's not like a something that's a chore. It's something that I want to do. Like I going out of the house or before I go to sleep, like do I want to tea? Do I like whatever
Yeah.
it is, like I'm doing that for myself so that I can clearly identify it when it presents myself as a mate,
Hmm.
or I can personally identify it for my mate. So
Yo,
yeah.
you just like some of y'all need to rewind that whole section back. Like, yo, like I'm like on the exact same page with you. I'm a firm believer that because I this has happened to me. I find myself in relationships and I've always been a self learner, a self grower. I've always been wise beyond my years. I seem to have slowed down now. But if the person you're with doesn't know how to be happy without you or has not found some level of personal happiness, they're looking for you to fulfill that, and you
Mhm.
cannot. You
And that's
cannot. Some people may tolerate it and deal with you and stick out the relationship, and y'all may get married and have 5 kids or whatever, but they're always going to have something missing because that's just not. It's impossible for someone, I think, to come into your life and give you that. Like, you have to have. Like, for me, like you said, I make myself like I'm good by myself. Yes, I want to be married and have kids and all that, but I'm good. I know what I like. I know what I enjoy, so I engage in that. But when it comes to a woman, I want someone who's going to compliment me in those regards. You ain't got to be into the same things that I'm into, but if you support me and you allow me to support you and we can have conversations about it and we can engage in these things together, that's all I need. I'm not looking for you to quote unquote make me happy, but I'm looking for you
right,
to compliment my life just like I want to compliment your life. And that's going to take communication.
right. Yep. No one can make you happy. Happiness is within. Happiness is personal. Happiness is, you know, you define that, and I think that is very important in your adult life, at any point in your life, period, that you can identify those things. Because once you understand that, you recognize how much power you have personally,
Yep.
and that's how I can transform my mood. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I know what makes me happy. So when I'm not happy, I gravitate to my happiness. Like what right now can I do that will make me happy in this moment, that will give me joy, give me peace that I need, because I'm lacking that right now. And I think that is how you transform your mood, and it's personal. It's not someone else doing that for you, or flowers, because all of those things, they're just things. And when they go away, when life presents itself, like flowers are not going to get you through. And if you thought that that's what it was, like
Yep.
you're going to be sadly mistaken. Take it from me.
Yeah. Oh no.
Like, I mean, I'm just saying, I've learned a lot. Like I've had my heart broken. I feel like I might
No,
have in
who
some
broke your
ways
heart?
broke.
What?
I mean, not not like a Debbie Downer. I've had my heart broken. Like I mean, that's life.
It
But
is.
it's
You're
out
right.
of that brokenness that comes such healing and such awareness. Like my lowest, I would say, relationship in terms of where my heart was like broken or destroyed, it rebirthed like an amazing person, like spiritually.
Yeah.
Like, man, girl, if you can get through that, like, well, you can get through anything, and like you can do it. Now you know the sacrifice, so it's so much, like I'm worth more because I know what I've my process, I know what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know, because I know I'm worth more, then I treat myself as more, and I'm going to attract more, like, and somebody else is going to.
Oh, shit! Wait a minute.
I'm done.
Wait. Repeat.
I can't do.
Wait.
I'm
Wait.
looking
Wait.
at your face.
No. Say that last part one more again, please.
When I know that I am more, I'm going to what the, I now
Yes,
you because
you
I'm going
said when
to
I know
attract
that I'm
more. Yes, because
you're gonna
I
attract
know
more.
I'm worth. I know I'm worth more, so that I see myself as that. So when you come at me with like what's the word, bartering with less than, no, this product, that's like me trying to sell you or me selling my MacBook to you and telling you that, hey, this is worth $10 million
Hmm.
or $2, and $2 you're gonna take it, disregard it. I got a $2 MacBook.
Yeah.
Like like you're not gonna either you're not gonna value it. I think when you know something's valued, like you treat it as such.
Yep.
Like look how you treat your clothes, like, and look how people, like how in a cultural society how people treat Jordans or a car or
Oh
BMW,
God.
whatever it
Yeah.
is. Like you take care of it, you're gonna wash it, you're gonna cleanse it, you're gonna make sure that it is not just sitting in mud like constantly. So that's me too. That same thing goes for me, because I know my value, I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I reciprocate. I know the type of person that I am now, because there was a time I didn't know. I was
Right.
always kind. I was always like loving, but I needed to be loved. Like I need you to love me so I can love you back. And I'm a great lover back, but
Hmm.
I need you, like, and it's like, no, that's real needy. Like now I love me, and that's good enough.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, and somebody's gonna come across and be like, dang, she really love herself.
Yep.
Like, and I really believe that. So
That
I don't
helps.
know. I think everything's on purpose. I think everything's timing. I think all all that's supposed to happen in love and life and relationships, it'll happen as it needs to happen, or it'll reveal to you in a timely manner what you need to get out of it. Whether it's no more or yes, I want to be in this. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yo, that you just definitely dropped some gems. You actually just made me think about a couple things. And to add a little bit to what you just said, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, when you do know your worth and you exude that self value, the BS will avoid you automatically. They're gonna look at you and see that and be like, "Damn, I'm not even gonna step to it because I ain't ready." That's happened to me. Like when my stuff wasn't together, and they'd be like, "This woman," I'm like, and I probably could have got it. Not like that, but could have, been with her,
right,
whatever. But because I knew where she was and what she was doing and how she valued herself, I'm like, yo, I be on thin ice from the gate because I know my stuff ain't together, and that motivated me. I was like, well, Rob, you don't want to miss out on opportunities like that because that is the
right.
type of woman you want.
Parents, the fourth, right? There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah,
You prepare yourself. like like you, when you see that you're lacking in any area, you if you are out of paper towels at home, you go restock.
and
Like,
yeah,
and so if you realize I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and then you fill up on that, like, and you restock that and replenish that, and you do that. The only way you can do that is like really um peeling back the layers of yourself. And I posted something earlier this week. Jada Pinkett Smith, she had posted about self mastering and the power of, like, when you want to choose somebody that has learned how to master themselves,
hmm,
because I'm in a process of self mastering. Exposure is about self mastering. It's about learning the things that I like and seeing the world, like, and like tapping into, like, the hidden parts of myself. And then in turn, as I tap into them, I want to share them with other people so that they are inspired to tap into their own hidden compartments of themselves. So you have to be willing to seek out and discover yourself, because there's so many blind spots that we have with self, and if you're not paying attention to it, you may miss out on some major opportunities, some major things, some major people, like having people in your life that you truly could be deserving of, but you just haven't done the work. And so That's personal.
True. That's your relationship tip.
I know. I feel like a young little Von Zant. Oh,
You know. All right.
I
Here's what we're
expect.
gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, we have a lot.
I actually have a lot more, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a part two with you. We can do it right after this, or we can do it at another time. I'm gonna do a part two with you because I want to talk about your travel. I want to talk about your food, and I called it my closet. I got all these little labels for you. I said my closet because you got your little fashion pics, and then you do your lashes and you do candles. So that's kind of
Okay.
what I consider that. But I know, I know my listeners. Some of y'all got short attention spans, and I want y'all to get these gems. So this is gonna be part. This is part one. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all know where to find us from My Experience Podcast on Facebook, FME_podcast on Instagram. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, anywhere that they have podcasts. Spotify, what? Yeah, we on Spotify. All those places you can listen to us.
Mhm.
Jessica, where can they find you?
You can find me at Lash and Soul. That's my studio, or at Expozher, EXPOZHER. And the links to my blog and my website, all of that information is on. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Yep.
Well, thank you so much for answering my random ass Facebook message and participating in this. I truly appreciate it. As always, that's my nerve wracking part. I'm like, ugh. Like, I'm like, this person's gonna know I've been stalking them online and I want to interview them now. So, but
No, thank you. I'm honored. I'm humbled. I think that this is amazing. I I just never would have pictured that. So this is like something that goes on my first podcast, like on my list of life accomplishments. So thank you.
yeah, no problem. Oh, I almost forgot. So those of you listening, we are doing, this is the last episode for, wait, is this the last episode? This is. All right. So this is the last episode for our giveaway. We're actually doing a giveaway this month. We're giving away a $30 Amazon gift card, and y'all know that there's a keyword that you have to have from every episode, and the keyword for this episode is sage. So in light of what we've talked about, the keyword is sage. So remember that. Remember those competition rules. They're posted in the Facebook group. If y'all have a question, comment, and or y'all want to be a guest from My Experience Podcast at gmail.com, hit us up. We will catch y'all next time. Peace. Thank you all again for joining us. Once again, you can find her wonderful eyelash line at www.lashandsoulstudio.com. You can also find the candles on there. And if you want to check out Jessica's blog, www.expozher.me. Very interesting stuff, very cool stuff. I'm going to have her back on so we can talk more about it. Thanks again for listening. Peace.